All right, well, welcome everyone for this wonderful evening ahead. Welcome to the Information Technology Academy Flambeau site, Student Recruitment 2022. My name is Christopher Kilgore, and I will give a little bit further introduction later. A little bit of housekeeping before we get too far into things. We are going to have a question and answer period at the very end of this presentation. And for those of you who are wondering, along the way, this will be recorded and will be up on our website soon after this evening. In order to get things started off in a good way, we have asked Tinker Schumann to give an opening prayer here for our presentation, and then we'll get started after that. So I'd like to welcome Tinker into the space, and I will turn it over to you and mute my mic.
Uju and Denway Magna, all my relatives, Mikizi Queen, Indigenous Cause, Dodam, Mikizi, Waswagin, Dunjiba, Chimigwich, for Adopna Sema, for the Sema that was passed to me through John. And I went outside prior to this gathering here and smoked a pipe out there and said some prayers to ask blessings for this program. And for the students, and for the staff, and everyone, parents and grandparents. And so I ask blessing here that will be for the students to for their education. So say, Uju Gichimana Adapna Sema Pragan Geshimadu Mishumas and Denway Magna. Chimigwich Mishumas Wabanang. Jawanang, Ngabianang, Shumaskiwade, and the kind of Mamandenwe Magni. Gatiana Shinabi, Kumis, Kubide, Nimishumis, Gatiana Shinabi, all our elders. And I ask for each one to be blessed here this evening for this program, ITA. And I ask the Great Spirit and all the money due to help our youth for their education and to be there and guide and direct them for whatever's planned for them, Creator, that you'll help them in all their needs. And our teachers, I ask you to bless our teachers to help them and the UWM administration and all people involved with our youth to help them in their life as they have this school year in the future and whatever they're going into when they get a higher education, that everything will be fine for them, protect them in their journeys and watch over them and help them. Thank you. Miigwech and Denway Magna. Thank you, relatives. Miigwech.
Thank you very much, Tinker. And thank you, Miigwech. And I want to make sure that you know that it is an honor to have you give us these opening words and get things started in a good way. Again, I cannot thank you enough. Now I'd like to ask Ron Jetty, the Executive Director of the Information Technology Academy, to give a brief welcome, and then we'll do a staff introduction after Ron is finished. Ron, you take it away.
Thanks, Chris. I'm really thrilled that Tinker was able to be here this evening and give us the blessing to kick us off. So much appreciated. So good evening. I'm Ron Jetty. I'm the Director of the Information Technology Academy. I've been here for 6 years. I was a school teacher and then a university professor, and I got my PhD here at UW-Madison. So it's fun to be involved with this program that's helping youth achieve their educational goals in higher education, whether it's here at the university or at a different institution that fits their needs the best. Little bit about ITA. In alignment with UW-Madison's diversity framework, the Information Technology Academy is an innovative pre-college initiative for diverse students here at UW-Madison. Part of the Division of Information Technology and in partnership with UW-Madison's People program, ITA includes 3 program sites. We serve students in Flambeau, Oneida, and the Madison community. And our goal is to increase the enrollment rates and success of diverse students in their high school journey so that they can pursue higher education. So ITA students build knowledge and skills through hands-on technology coursework, academic preparation, tutoring, internships, mentoring, and community service. Lots of great program opportunities for students. Coursework is 50% academic preparation and 50% IT preparation. And so in addition to learning a lot about technology during their high school career, we want ITA seniors to be competitive applicants for admission to UW-Madison. So that's a little bit about the program. You're going to learn a lot more about the specifics in depth from the team members that are on the Zoom here. So thanks very much, Chris, and I'll hand it over to the team.
Thanks very much for that, Ron. And Marcia, I'll hand it over to you for introductions.
Sure. Hi, good evening, everybody. My name is Marcia Lovett, and I'm one of the program managers here with ITA. I'm in the middle of my 3rd year with the program, although it seems like it's much longer. It's been a much longer time than that, but only just 2.5 years so far. I'm very grateful that you guys decided to take the time to join us this evening and representing, especially, representing students that are not able to be here. My role with ITA, I do a little bit of a lot of things, but my main focus right now is recruitment and coordinating those recruitment efforts. So I definitely support all the staff and their outreach to all our respective communities we serve. So I'm just another person to call on for help or support, but you're in great hands with Miss Julie here in Lac de Flambeau, and I thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you, Marcia. I'm just going to go in order of my screen. So Ninoska, you are next on my screen.
Good evening, my name is Ninoska. I serve as the lead technology instructor, so I get to oversee all of our technology curriculum and oversee the instructors that are teaching that. So a big part of my job is curriculum writing and teaching our incoming students. I graduated from ITA Madison in 2015, and I went to college at UW-Madison, and I graduated in December of 19. I've been with ITA for almost 6 years now, 2 of those working full-time.
Thanks very much for that, Nino. And Liliana, you are next on my screen.
Thanks, Chris. Hi there, I'm Liliana. I am an academic instructor at the ITA Madison site. I teach ACT prep and college prep classes, and I'm also a 2017 ITA alum, and I am a current graduate student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison.
Thanks for that, Liliana. Brenda.
Hi, my name is Brenda, and I am an academic instructor. I teach college prep, but I also teach a lot of other courses, especially in the summer. I am an ITA alum, class of 2010, and I went to UW-Madison and graduated in 2015. I've been in the program since I was a student hourly, and now I work full-time teaching students.
Thank you for that, Brenda. Julie, you are next on our list.
Hi, everybody. I'm Julie Hagstrom. I'm the Student Success Outreach Coordinator for the Lac de Flambeau site. I'm in my 8th year with ITA. So I'm the first line connection to students. If they have questions or concerns or anything like that, they reach out to me first. And forgive me for keeping my camera off. My internet is very unstable, so that helps me not get kicked off. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Julie. And Dia.
Sa pag iwan sa niyo vita loda anawahaga ni onayotiaga. My name is Dion Jacobs. I am the Student Success Outreach Coordinator for the Oneida site. I reside in Oneida, grew up in Oneida. I will also be kind of going in and out with the video, as I am not in a very good area right now. But it was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you for everyone for coming.
Thanks for that, Dion. And like I said before, my name is Christopher Kilgore, and I'm the Tribal Programs Manager. I'm coming up on my 11th year with ITA and working with the tribal sites and also doing some instruction in the Madison summer programming. So it's an honor to be here. I work in both the Lac du Flambeau and Oneida communities. And like I was saying before, sometimes in the Madison community during the summer times and some other times of the year. So we're going to go ahead and get started with our formal presentation. Thank you, Liliana, for bringing up the slides. As you can see here, Information Technology Academy has 3 different locations. We have the Lac du Flambeau location, we have the Oneida location, and we have the Madison location. And ultimately, as Ron was saying, it's a pre-college program focusing on academic, technology, and leadership preparation throughout your high school career in preparation for college and beyond. Next slide, please. So the big question is, why do we do what we do as staff? And the answer is this picture here. We do it for this moment. We do it to see students like these here and like you listening and watching this presentation. This is a success. This is a success story. We see our students graduating, matriculating through not only the Information Technology Academy, but also graduating, matriculating through their high school career, and then obviously, hoping to move on to college. And so this is really why we do what we do. All of the staff, I can say this without any hesitation, that we are motivated by our students' success. Next slide, please.
Sorry about that. So we do a lot of stuff during the year. Throughout the years that they're with us, we have study skills training where we go over what the habits that they should get into to be successful in higher education, but in high school as well. We go over leadership and the type of leadership styles that they are and the things that they can learn and how to develop to be better leaders. We work on career development, making sure that they understand that one day they will go work and what the skills are that they need to be successful employees. ACT prep, we work with them to get better scores on their ACT preps test. And finally, college prep, we help them with their application, FAFSA, and anything answer any questions relating to what college is really about and how they can be successful as college students.
Thanks for that, Brenda. And Nino.
There are many technology topics that we will be teaching our students in their time with us. And these are just a few of the things that we do. They will have a many uses of computer camp where they get an introduction to how computers work, and just an overall of different tech topics. They will get an introduction to video production where they will get the chance to create their own movies, understand how camera equipment works. They will take a course called multimedia design, which really encompasses 3 big tech topics, which are graphic design, sound design, and then web design. They will have computer systems and programming, where they will dive deeper into programming and how to make kind of little web pages and little applications. They have technology startups where they get the chance to use all of their tech knowledge into coming up with a solution to a social issue. And they will close their senior year with senior capstone, where they will focus on using the skills they have learned in order to create extraordinary projects that showcase their knowledge and that they can later use in a portfolio, whether that is for work or for college.
Thanks for that, Nino. What you see on the screen here is essentially a culmination of the entire time that a student spends within ITA, that they're creating basically a digital portfolio. This is one of our students, Jennifer Zhang, who put together an amazing portfolio of her interests, her professional aspirations, examples of artwork, examples of music, which is essentially a digital resume. And to that point, that's one of the things that we do work on with our students, is giving them the skill sets and then helping guide them in creating a digital footprint that they can then use moving forward throughout the college career and their experience there, and obviously into the professional world as well. So this is just one example of a phenomenal series of projects that kind of turned into a wonderful portfolio that the student could take on with them through college and into the professional realm. Next slide, please. So one of the things that we also pride ourselves in within ITA is making sure that we have multiple angles and multiple points of resource for our students. We have a tutoring set up with our students, whether it be a virtual access to tutoring. We have tutors that provide weekly tutoring sessions for both ITA work and for regular school work. And depending on the year and depending on the month, we have a schedule set up for each one of those categories, and so folks can log in remotely. We also, when we're not in kind of COVID protocol, we also have in-person tutoring and study session in both of our sites, and specific to the Lac du Flambeau community. Julie actually meets with students often at the school, as well as there's some drop-in study session options in Lac du Flambeau community specifically. Again, and as you can see here, we have asterisks on our slides, and this is the asterisks basically denote when we are able to be meeting in person again. And obviously with COVID protocols the way they are, some of these things are kind of a to be announced. But when we are indeed meeting in person, we have an internships program for our students. The summer before your senior year with us, you would be participating in a 2-week internship program. Prior to that time, you'll be exploring different career paths or different things that may interest you in the professional world, and then applying the skill sets that you've been developing within ITA within the professional realm as an intern. And we help you kind of pick out where you'd like to do internships, help you connect with those potential internship hosts, and then you'd be working with them for 2 weeks during the summer before your senior year. Every other year in the past, we've also had an opportunity for students to go out to Silicon Valley. And Brenda, if you don't mind chiming in on this specific to the Silicon Valley experience, just so students know that, again, once we're back in person, this is one of the opportunities that students may have within ITA.
Silicon Valley trip is a time where select students who apply to this trip can attend, and we fly all together to California, to Silicon Valley, and we have field trips all over Silicon Valley to not only know the city, but also to understand and learn more about the companies working there. We visit companies like Google, Zendesk, all type of different technology companies to give you a sense of what working in technology means. And it's not just about technology, but also there's a whole bunch of other jobs that require that our people in Silicon Valley are looking for. And it's not just technology based, but also we get to meet all the people who make this the Silicon Valley companies a success.
Thanks for that, Brenda. And the next thing here you can see on our slide is the spring conference option. And every year, when we are meeting in person, our students come to campus for several days in the spring, typically the first week in April. Students come from their respective sites, from Lac du Flambeau specifically to this presentation. We'll bus down to UW campus. We'll be staying on campus, coming down on a Friday, staying overnight Friday night and Saturday night, and leaving on Sunday. And while you're on campus with us, you're getting kind of an idea of what campus experience and campus life is like, but also connecting with a lot of different resources and opportunities and things to enjoy throughout the Madison area, as well as on campus. Meeting some students from Oneida that will be coming down, as well as meeting students in the Madison area on a Saturday session. So all 3 sites will get together and be able to spend a day together. Not only sharing information, but obviously sharing life stories and things like that. Then the summer before your senior year, students would be attending our senior residential experience. And the senior residential experience is actually our rising seniors coming down to campus again and staying on campus for 2 weeks. And actually, I'm sorry, staying on campus for a week, currently the way we have things formatted. And Students will be living in the dorms together, again, with the seniors from the Oneida community, the rising seniors from the Madison community, and participating in a variety of different courses aligned with both the technology and the academic side of things, as well as college exploration, a lot of fun activities, a lot of interacting with again, students from the two other communities that ITA works with. And it's really a great experience. I would say that out of all the things that students do, the senior residential experience is one of those things that students say they really, really enjoy as kind of being the really fun thing to do just before they graduate that next coming summer. Next slide, please. So the question oftentimes is, well, why, as a student, why should I do this? What's the point? And sometimes even parents or guardians, family members will say, well, why should our student be involved in a program like the Information Technology Academy? And honestly, there's a whole long list of reasons. The ones here, kind of the bigger points to be made are you gain a ton of technology skills. But again, as Nina was kind of highlighting in the slide when we were talking about the tech curriculum, you're gaining a lot of expertise, a lot of knowledge, a lot of background with programs and software and systems that you're going to be using definitely throughout college. You, in many cases, will be using at the high school level, but then using beyond college, using in the professional settings. Oftentimes, if these are programs or systems you're familiar with, we have additional things that students can be working with in the technology realm in order to kind of continue to grow and learn as you're in our program. There's also a significant amount of academic support and guidance, as we had said before, when talking about the different academic classes that were being offered, including tutoring. And there's a lot of academic mentoring that goes on with various students, especially when you have students that have been in our program for a while, helping students that are new to the program navigate kind of how we do things, but also navigate, that successful path moving through and into college. You gain a lifetime of friendship. I'm going to ask actually a couple of the people that are on our presentation tonight to give a quick recap of their experience, as you heard earlier, with being former students within our program, and kind of what that meant, and how I know for a fact that a lot of the folks that have gone through ITA as students continue to keep in touch with the folks that they were in their cohort with, well into, and in many cases beyond the college experience as well. When you're a student, when you're accepted into our program as a student of ITA, you're issued a laptop, and that laptop is something that you are able to use throughout your time with ITA as a student. And that laptop is a brand new laptop loaded with all the software that you'd be needing, not only for anything that we'd be doing within ITA, but typically that software handles just about anything that you'd be doing at the high school level as well. It's a computer that you're welcome to use for both high school work and for ITA work. And so it's nice to have a system that we're all familiar with working on and working with as you're going through our experience. And we want to make sure that everyone has that piece of technology as they start within our program and are moving through it. If you complete our program successfully as an ITA graduate, again, we said you're eligible for a tuition scholarship. It's a tuition for 4 years within the University of Wisconsin-Madison specifically. And again, in completing our ITA program, that puts you in eligibility status for that scholarship. You still, of course, are having to apply for the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and then if indeed accepted, that scholarship applies. A lot of folks say, yeah, well, this sounds like it's perhaps too good to be true. What's the actual cost? And there is no monetary cost whatsoever to be a participant in ITA. The one thing I will say as an asterisk to that, as you can see at the end of that sentence, is that there are certain things, for instance, with the Silicon Valley opportunity as a field trip, that is something that does have a cost to it that's kind of outside of our normal everyday ITA programming. But even within that activity and that spectrum, there are scholarships available. So, that is one thing that perhaps is the exemption or exception to that rule. Basically, what we ask for within your process of being an ITA is commitment and dedication. And what does that mean? That means doing your work. That means keeping in touch with staff. That means communicating, reading your emails, etc. But basically making sure that you get in or stay caught up with the ITA work and curriculum, and obviously stay caught up with your regular schoolwork as well. Next slide, please.
Hello, this is Dion here. So the commitment for ITA, 3 years of time and hard work. Now, these are in a perfect world where there's no COVID. I don't even know how to explain this anymore, but 3 years of time and hard work, which consists of a 2-week summer institute each year. And I am the student success outreach reporter for Oneida. And we have a 2-week in the summer, then there's 2 weeks in Lac du Flambeau. So we have a coordinating effort between both sites. We have 3 cohort weekends each year, fall, winter, and spring. 1 spring conference each year, which is in March or April down in Madison. Weekly online homework, which is approximately 2 hours per week, 1 hour per class per week. And then lastly is the 1-week senior residential experience in Madison for seniors, which is in the first week of August. 90% of attendance and completion rate for meetings and assigned work. Because we don't meet very often, attendance is very important. And, you know, we do understand that sometimes other things come up that you just can't get around. However, because we have opposite tribal sites in Lac du Flambeau and Oneida, that's always an option if need be for a student to attend one of those meetings. And lastly, the goal is to work towards a 3.0 GPA by your senior year. Next slide, please. ITA commitment is also a 3-way street. For ITA, we provide instruction and support and preparation for college and beyond. For the student, you must complete the work in a timely manner, communicate with student and staff, and maintain a competitive grade point average. Parent and guardian, support the student, engage with parent circle meetings, and communicate with ITA staff when needed. ITA is a legit support system all the way around. I think the 3-way street is a perfect way to explain how the 3 different parties come together to reach a common goal. Next slide, please. Online coursework. There's a lot of flexibility because it is online, but we ask that you respect deadlines. So in turn, being organized, keeping a planner, staying on task is very key. With that, in turn, you also need self-motivation and discipline. You need a place to be productive, not sitting in front of the TV with your little brother napping at your toes, trying to get your attention. You know, preferably, you know, your bedroom, nice quiet area where you can just sit down and get to work. Be comfortable with reaching out to help. I think with the generation that amongst us is the communication and sometimes the difficulty that comes along with it. So another good thing about ITA is that we help you, you know, work on those communication skills. Lastly, get it done early so we can help if there are issues. I'm still trying to apply that to my life. Get things done early because you know what? You never know when something's going to come up. So it's a lot of prep. It's a lot of kind of like mentoring. I look at it in terms of the high school life to college life. Next slide, please.
Hi, Julie here. So this is our timeline for this recruitment season. The application is open. It opened yesterday. And then it will close on February 20, 5 o'clock. I believe that's a Friday. By April 8th, students will be notified whether they're being invited to a short interview process where they have the opportunity to meet on Teams with staff and ask questions and get their questions answered, and parents join. And it's just a short little kind of get to know you meeting. And then the notifications will be sent out, and students have until May 27th to accept or decline the admission invitation. So next slide, please. So what you will need, oh, this is Chris, never mind, go ahead.
I'm more than happy to defer, but thanks, Julie. So here's what everyone needs in the process of applying for ITA. What you're going to need is a copy of your 9th grade transcript, and just make sure that you kind of get that process started as soon as you can, because sometimes that takes a little bit of time. In the application, you'll see that there are 3 short answer questions that you'll need to make sure that you answer in about 100 to 200 words. That seems like a lot, but trust me when I say, when you kind of get started writing, sometimes you have to figure out how to pare it down. So we want to make sure that, you know, those answers are thorough and that we know about you in the process of answering them. There will be a letter required from your parent or guardian, and that's a letter of support, basically stating why your parent or guardian feels that you would be a good participant and a good fit for ITA as a student. And then getting a letter of recommendation from your teacher or your school counselor. And oftentimes the question is asked, is that somebody that we need to get from the high school? And in many cases, we have students that do submit letters of recommendation from both high school and from their middle school experience, because oftentimes you've had middle school teachers that have known you for a few years longer than perhaps just the first semester of your 9th grade year. Next slide, please.
How to apply. So again, the applications opened yesterday. The application and information is found at our website at ita.wisc.edu. And when you click on the apply to ITA button, it will take you to another site. And there'll be multiple things you can choose. You'll want to choose ITA as the program that you're applying to. And then you just continue on with all of the steps. And the application with all its parts needs to be in by, again, Friday, February 21st at 5 p.m. Next slide.
So this is the part we were talking about where we allow for questions and anything that folks have that they would like to ask. So for the few folks that are online here this evening in virtual real time, are there any questions from anyone in regards to the application process or anything else about ITA specifically? All right. Well, and I'll give you a couple of seconds to think about something. If you want to either type it in the chat, or you can feel free to just go ahead and ask the question as I'm talking. I'll throw out a couple of questions that I know do get asked quite regularly. One of them is, well, what if I'm not necessarily 100% interested in going into computers when I go on to school? And my answer to that is technology, as quite a few of the people that have been presenting tonight have pointed out, technology covers all kinds of different things, and it is involved in all kinds of different fields, professions, and experiences within school and within the professional world. So you don't necessarily have to be looking at becoming a computer programmer or being a coding person or being a computer logistics coordinator or anything like that. Oftentimes we have people that go on to art careers, that go on to medical field, that go on to other things, where technology inevitably is most definitely intertwined in that experience. So my recommendation is to still make sure that you do consider application for ITA, because technology is pretty much everywhere now. And I guarantee you the process of being involved within the Information Technology Academy, somewhere along the way, what you're learning along the way will be helping you moving forward. So, so that's a question.
Since we have 3 staff members here who are program alumni, they could probably help make your point. I think Nino, Brenda, Liliana, you could share a little bit about your backgrounds, what you studied while you were at university. Hint, it wasn't computer science, but yeah, this will make Chris's point, I think.
That's a great point. So yeah, if any one of the 3 of you would like to take that on, that'd be great.
I can start. Sorry. I went to school for psychology. So not technology related, but during my time in undergrad, I used a lot of the skills that I learned in ITA, like video editing, Photoshop, obviously PowerPoint and Microsoft and Adobe. All of those things I used constantly to improve on my the stuff that I was presenting or doing in undergrad. So that really helped me a lot and gave me a leg up from my peers who didn't know it or weren't super used to it. So I was able to jump in and help out wherever I could. And that ultimately helped me because I wasn't researching how to use the program. I was just doing it instead of spending that time. So that helped me a lot.
Thanks for that, Brenda. Liliana or Nino, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, I can jump right in. So undergrad, I studied public policy, And now I'm going to graduate school for public affairs. So definitely not in the technology realm. But I really enjoyed the curriculum that I went through as a student in the ITA program. And it gave me a lot of valuable skill sets that I've been able to take on to different jobs that I've had. And I would say more than anything, this program gave me a community. I made some incredible friendships when I was in the program. I got to go on some pretty cool trips. Luckily, I qualified for the Silicon Valley scholarships. And so I had a really great time, and some of my best memories, like in my entire life, are because of ITA. So this program is worthwhile, and just that aspect of building community and making lifelong friendships.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Nino, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, so I went to UW for education. I was an elementary and special ed major. That's what I got my degree in. 180 from computers, but I ended up using a lot of the skills that I learned in ITA. Like Brenda mentioned, kind of presenting and working with PowerPoint. It made a lot of my classes easier. The graphic design skills that I learned really helped me to create worksheets and create things for my students when I was student teaching. Made my job so much easier. And I used a lot of my Excel skills when I was in college, and that allowed me to get a job with a professor doing research. So because I already knew and they didn't need to train me, they ended up hiring me. I did research, and by 19, I was able to like publish an article with a professor. So that was a big leg up from my other peers. And I just love ITA. I love it so much I graduated and haven't left yet. So still here. It's very much worthwhile.
And thank you all three for that. I think that that's a really strong point to be made there. And is that that this is one of those things that just kind of continues on and kind of gets in your blood, and everyone has a great time doing it. And one of the points that I would like to also make is that a vast majority of our instructors are folks that have been through the ITA program and have come back to teach, and have come back because they wanted to help other students succeed where they did. And one thing that I will also point out is that that I always continue to kind of giggle at is whenever we have student instructors, when we have ITA graduates that come back and teach for us and teach with us at the college level, 9.9 times out of 10, they'll start introducing something or start talking about something or start teaching something. And all of us that have been around for a while who think we have all the answers go, wait, how did you do that? What are you doing? So it is really amazing to see not only students succeed, but to succeed and thrive to the point where they're moving and gaining knowledge well beyond we ever had our aspirations to help them with. So those are all really amazing and wonderful things to see, and to see folks succeed at the level that they are. Is there anything else that folks would like to add to that process of kind of why ITA, or any of the other commonly asked questions that we get in the process of our recruitment?
I'll just add this real quick on the application end of things, just to reiterate that going to the ita.wis.edu site, not only you'll get the application, access to the application, but there are resources in helping to complete the application. So it's online. It's not as how do I say, prickly as it used to be, but we do have some resources available for students when completing that. So I just wanted to make sure I highlighted that so that applicants are aware.
Thanks for that, Marcia. Yeah, that's an important point. And I think all the questions should be answered at least up front at that site. So, well, if there aren't any other things that folks want to kind of add to this, I think we've reached the end of our presentations. I really do want to thank all the staff that was here tonight, and thank the attendees that logged in to have these questions answered. Again, I would encourage everyone to make sure to go to the website and to get started on this application as soon as you can, if indeed you are interested. And please don't hesitate to reach out with questions. all of the application process as well as how to ask questions is at the ita.wisc.edu website. And I'd like to again thank Ron and Marcia and Nino and Brenda and Julie and Dion and Liliana for attending and for helping out and for presenting. Of course, I want to thank again Tinker for opening up things for us in a good way. And like to ask everyone to have a fantastic rest of your evening or day, depending on when you're watching this presentation. And I know I can speak for the staff when I say we're very much looking forward to seeing folks' applications and hopefully seeing people's smiling faces in the months to come. So